What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Speaking Sessions podcast. I am Philip Sessions, your public speaking coach, here to talk to you today about speaking. And I want to know, why is it that you are not speaking? The two things that I normally see from people when it comes to why they are not speaking is that they, one, have too much fear. They're afraid of what people are going to say when they do speak. And the second one, which these kind of tie in with each other, but they are slightly different, is that they have imposter syndrome. Why would anybody listen to me? I don't have that much value to bring. My message isn't going to matter. And I'm here to tell you that your message does matter. But let's talk about that fear for a second. Fear is always going to be there. It's really nervousness at the end of the day. It's not really true fear. Some people do have that. But for most of us, it's really just you're nervous. And why are you nervous? Because you're afraid of how people are going to perceive you, what they're going to think about you based on what you are saying. So how do you get past that fear or that nervousness? Stop focusing on yourself. Your message is meant for your audience. Your message is not meant for you. You already have that information. So why are you worried about how you sound? Why are you worried about the information that you have? Share it, because you are going to impact somebody. But you have to start sharing it now. Don't wait until you're comfortable with speaking, because you're never going to be comfortable to start. You have to get those reps in where you suck. You have to get those reps in where you're not exactly sure how to convey your message, how to present your message, how to share your message in an effective way that people will get the most out of it. But you know how you do get that way? By sharing your message, getting feedback from people, hiring a coach, constantly posting on social media, and again, getting feedback, looking at analytics. But you have to start. You have to put in the work in order for you to get past that nervousness and to start realizing that it's not about you. Because anybody that's listening to you, they're not worried about you. Unless if your pants fell down on stage or something crazy happened like that, that shouldn't happen, especially if you're wearing a belt or fitted clothing. You should be fine there. But they're worried about themselves. What are they going to get from this? And when they start judging you, it's because they're not getting something out of your message, which hopefully and most likely means that your message is not for them. And that's okay, because your message can't be for everybody. You are not for everybody. So make sure that you're focused on your audience rather than focusing on yourself. And that's how you're going to get over that fear of public speaking. But what about this imposter syndrome? Very similarly, and I notice more with people that don't have this whole rags to riches story or this amazing amount of success in their life. But I want to give you an analogy here for you to understand. Do you think that The Rock can relate with somebody who's 400 pounds? Do you think that that person that's 400 pounds can relate with The Rock when it comes to getting on a weight loss journey? No. Does that mean The Rock can't help this person? Not exactly. He could tell him exactly what to do, but he's not going to be able to relate with this overweight person because, one, I don't know if he's actually ever been overweight, but two, he's been in such great shape for so long and so disciplined, he doesn't know what it's like to have to worry about what to eat, having to worry about if he's going to eat the right things, having to worry about just being judged for going to the gym, being judged for trying to start eating healthy. And there's so many things that The Rock can't relate with this overweight person anymore. And it's the same thing when it comes to success. When you're trying to speak on stage, so many people worry that, man, I'm not a millionaire. I haven't owned 500 businesses and exited 499 of them. I haven't done all these amazing things that you see some entrepreneurs out there doing and then speaking about. Now, there is a catch to this. You do have to have some kind of success. You have to have shown and proven yourself somewhere. You don't need to have made millions of dollars or ran multiple businesses or helped tons and tons of people. But if you can show your journey of what you overcame, how you overcame it, and how you can help somebody else, that's all you need to be able to speak. It's not that difficult. You don't even have to worry about completely crafting a message. Your story is the message right in and of itself. Start there. Start sharing your story because everybody has a story that they can share. You are going to be able to relate with that person. So if you were going back to our example of The Rock and this 400-pound person, say you were 400 pounds and now you're 300 pounds. Most people would say that's still not in great shape, but it's in better shape than a 400-pound person. But guess what? You can tell your story of how you got from 400 pounds to 300 pounds, and you're going to create impact on that person that's 400 pounds. You're going to be relatable to them. You're going to be able to help them because you know what's going on in their minds. You know how they're feeling. You know how people are judging them. Do you not think that you should share your story, your journey, your message if you have a similar thing to that? And if you just said no, go back to the first part of this podcast when I talked about getting over that fear. You're thinking about yourself, and that's selfish. You have learned something that somebody else could use. Don't you think when you were trying to lose that weight, when you were trying to start that business, when you were trying to become that new mom, that new dad, that you wanted somebody there to help you? Why can't you be that person for the next person that's where you were at, where you overcame? You don't have to be ultra successful. You just have to have gone through something and learn from it to be able to teach somebody else. That's all it takes. So get that imposter syndrome out of here. Realize that you're just making that up. You are not an imposter at all, unless you've never made $1 million, you've never been successful, and you try to teach people how to do that. Now, if you've done that for a company you work for, perhaps that's a little bit different, but I am explicitly saying you've never done anything close to that. You've never made a company, yourself, anybody else $1 million, and yet you try and teach people how to make $1 million. You are an imposter. That is a true imposter, not somebody who's done something, not somebody who's gone through something. You are therefore then not the imposter, but that person that tries to pose as being somebody who's done something. So just realize that you are not an imposter because you have came through it. So if you got anything out of this podcast, I want you to realize that you are just nervous. As long as you stop thinking about yourself and focus on your audience, you're going to be able to get over that fear and that nervousness of speaking in public. And no matter where you're at, no matter how much success you've gotten, you do have a message that you can share and help somebody. Because the ultra successful people cannot relate to those just getting started. But you can, perhaps, if that's where you're at. So start with where you're at. Share your message with where you're at and just get started. Because we're all going to suck at the beginning, but our message is so valuable and will impact at least one person. So go out there and fire up the mic.